Welcome to the Ordinary Council meeting of 26 October 2022. I'd like to call upon Councillor Mepham to read the civic affirmation.
We, the councillors of the Armidale region, declare that we will undertake the duties of the office of councillor in the best interests of our community and faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities and discretions vested in us to the best of our skills and judgment.
Thank you, Councillor Mepham, and Councillor Witters to do the recognition of traditional owners.
Charles, Armidale Regional Council sits on numerous traditional lands and they'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of those lands and pay respect to the elders past, present and emerging. The Armidale regional community as a whole pays tribute to the love of land, love of people and love of culture. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Witters. And could I call upon the General Manager to make a statement regarding live streaming?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. This meeting is being audio and video recorded and the recordings of the non-confidential parts of the meeting were made available on the internet. No other persons are permitted to record the meeting unless specifically authorised by Council to do so. And can I ask that you either turn your mobile phones off or set them to silent, please? Thanks, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Mr General Manager. Councillors, I have not received any apologies or requests for leave and I'm delighted to see you all here. It's good to have a full complement. Councillors, having reviewed the agenda, do any of you have any conflict of interest that you need to declare? Thank you. I'll take that as a no. Councillors, the first item of business is the confirmation of the minutes of the Ordinary Council meeting of 28 September 2022. Can I call for a mover for that? Thank you, Councillor McMichael, and a seconder. Thank you, Councillor Witters. Anything to add? All those in, let's put it to a vote. All those in favour of confirming the minutes, thank you. I declare that carried unanimously. Councillors, we don't have any mayoral minutes or notices of motion for this meeting, so we'll go into the 8th series. And the first item there is the disclosure of pecuniary interest. So Council is being asked to note the tabling of the disclosures of pecuniary interest by designated persons for the 12 months ended June 2022. Details are on page 7 of the agenda and page 16 of the attachments. Can I have a mover for that, please? Thank you, Councillor Gadders, and a seconder. Thanks again, Councillor Witters. Right, all those in favour, let's put that to a vote. Thank you very much. I declare that carried unanimously as well. We go to item 8.2. This is around the Government Information Public Access Act. 17 information access requests were received and processed during the relevant period. So details of that are from page 9 of the agenda and page 216 of the attachments. Council is being asked to endorse the GIPA annual report for 21-22 and submit the Armidale Regional Council report to the Information Privacy Commissioner. There's a recommendation on the screen. Thank you, Councillor Mepham, and for moving that, and Councillor McMichael for seconding it. Let's put that one to a vote, shall we? All those in favour of endorsing and submitting? Thank you. I declare that carried unanimously. Item 8.3, the Code of Conduct Complaint Statistics. So Council is required to report on complaints about councillors and the General Manager. In the 12 months to September 2022, there was one complaint made. Details are on page 11 of the agenda. So Council is being asked to, or there's a recommendation up there that Council receive the annual Code of Conduct Statistics, forward a copy of the annual report to the Office of Local Government. So can I call for a mover for that? Thank you, Councillor McMichael, and Councillor Witters wishes to second that. Councillor McMichael, anything you might wish to say?
Only that this motion and the last two, the GIPA and the Code of the Pecuniary Interests, are things that we have to do as councillors and as council for governance, and they're important. They sound a bit. They might sound a little bit boring to those who might be watching or listening on replay a little bit later, but they actually show important things about transparency for this council and for councillors. They tell you, the community, what we do, how to contact us, things that we going back. I don't know if this is allowed, but going back to our pecuniary interests, it goes back to what we own, what we're interested in, what we act upon, our boards and things, so that when we do motions and talk about issues in council, you know what we're interested in, what we get money from, that sort of thing. So these issues, although they sound like, what are we talking about? They're really, really really important issues of transparency for us as a council and for you as a community. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McMichael. Councillor Witters?
Yeah, just back up what Councillor McMichael said, and it's refreshing to see the numbers so low for both the Code of Conduct and the GIPPers.
Thank you. Councillors, anyone else wish to speak? All right, let's put this to a vote. All those in favour? Thank you. Those against? No. I declare that one carried unanimously. Item 8.4 is the meeting cycle for 2023, and it is proposed that the ordinary council meetings for 2023 be the fourth Wednesday of each month, commencing at 4 p.m. Details are there on page 14 of the agenda. So we have a recommendation there on the screen. Councillor O'Connor, I'll ask you to move that, thank you, and Councillor Witters to second it. Councillor O'Connor, anything to?
I only just wanted to note that council in this meeting schedule is actually not meeting at all in the month of New South Wales, the month of January. And I'd like to explain that this is so that everybody can have a rest in January. We're only required to meet 10 times a year, so this exceeds that requirement. And I think it's just been such a busy 4 or 5 years that having a complete clear month off is something that is a good thing.
Thank you, Councillor O'Connor. Councillor Witters, no? All right, councillors, let's put this to the vote. All those in favour of accepting that meeting cycle? Thank you. I declare that carried unanimously. Item 8.5 refers to the Code of Conduct. So within 12 months of local government elections, council is required to adopt a Code of Conduct which incorporates provisions of the Model Code of Conduct. The recommendation, or sorry, details of this are on page 16 of the agenda and 222 of the attachments. So council is being asked to endorse the ARC Code of Conduct and place it on public exhibition for a period of 28 days, which is the recommendation on the screen. Councillor O'Connor, thank you, will move that, and Councillor Robinson to second. Councillor O'Connor, do you wish to speak to it?
Just a little bit of breaking news from Local Government New South Wales Conference, and that is that the Code of Conduct, or the Model Code of Conduct upon which the Armidale Council's Code of Conduct is based, is under review. There's a report expected by the Minister in the next month or so, I think, and there's a certain feeling across the sector, I think, that a lot of work needs to be done to make this more effective, and it looks like that is going to be happening, so watch this space.
Thank you. Councillor Robinson.
I was just going to say that there is a typo in the current draft and it will be corrected before it goes on public exhibition. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. I've just been advised that the changes have been made that you had highlighted, so thank you. Councillors, does anyone else wish to speak to this motion? All right, let's put it to a vote. All those in favour? Thank you. I declare that carried unanimously. Item 8.6 is the Council Actions Report, which is summarising the actions taken on Council resolutions for the period January to September 2022, and Council is being asked to note this report. The details are on page 19 of the agenda and from page 258 of the attachments. Can I call for a mover, please? Thank you, Councillor Witters, and Councillor McMichael is seconding that. Councillor Witters, do you wish to say anything?
Yeah, just quickly, just thinking that this motion is a really good one for the public to have a look at, and they can determine and see where council's doing and what they're doing each month. And it's not just there to make the numbers to keep us busy, it's actually there for their benefit. So if they want to see what council's doing and what sort of actions have been taken, take a look at this one.
Thank you. Councillor McMichael?
Just echo Councillor Witters' comments, and also it's been very busy, and thank the staff for all their work.
Terrific, thank you. Councillors, on the assumption that no one else wishes to comment, let's put this to a vote. All those in favour? Thank you. I declare that one carried unanimously as well. At item 9.1, this refers to the adjustment and sale of minor council access denial strip, where council is being asked to approve the sale of an access denial strip located in Tancredi Street, Armidale. The adjustment of residual access denial strips and road reserve sections, and all costs to be borne by the applicant. There's a recommendation there on the screen. Can I have Councillor Robinson move, and Councillor Witters won the race for seconding. Thank you. Councillor Robinson.
Just to say that I did check out all the planning applications, and I was very, very keen to make sure that pedestrian and cycleway access was protected, and I believe that's the case, so I'm very happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Robinson. Councillor Witters, anything to add? Councillors, anyone else wish to speak to this? All right, thank you. Let's put this to a vote. All those in favour? Okay, thank you. I declare that carried unanimously. Item 9.2 is the cash and investment report to 30 September 2022, where council is being asked to note the report. The details are from page 23 of the agenda. The recommendation is up on the screen. If I could call for a mover, please. Thank you, Councillor Gatters, and a seconder. Thank you, Councillor Redwood. Councillor Gatters, anything to comment? No. Let's put this to a vote. All those in favour of noting the report? Thank you. I declare that carried unanimously. Councillors, item 9.3 refers to endorsement to engage public process for a road reserve closure, where the council has identified a road reserve on the corner of Rockvale Road and Wilson Avenue that is a land development opportunity. So the details are from page 29 of the agenda. The recommendation up there on the screen is asking council to undertake a public process to close the road reserve, to prepare a land survey and application to the Regional Crown Lands Office, and post-closure prepare a subdivision development application for 2 residential lots. Can I have a mover for a motion that's on the screen? I thank you, Councillor Galletley, and a seconder, Councillor O'Connor. Thank you. We got there. Councillor Galletley, anything to? No. Councillor O'Connor as a seconder. Councillors, anyone wish to have any discussion? Thank you, Councillor McMichael.
Look, it's just good to that the staff can identify extra lots, particularly with the housing crisis that we've got. It's excellent that we've found a possible subdivision for possible housing. So terrific that we've got a possibility for 2 residential lots, and we'll see what happens with the public exhibition and see what happens. But terrific, it's good.
Thank you, Councillor McMichael. All right, councillors, with no further discussion, let's put this to a vote. All those in favour, please raise your hands. Those again, thank you. I declare that carried unanimously. Item 9.5 is the updated draft financial statements, where council is being asked to adopt. Sorry, 9.4. Sorry, I skipped right over that. Let's do item 9.4 first. This is the planning agreement relating to developments on Faulkner Street. So The report recommends council enter into a planning agreement for the payment of $50,000 for the master planning and design of improvements in East End Mall, Beardy Street. The details are from page 23 of the agenda and 273 of the attachments. Council is being asked to enter into that, endorse entering into a planning agreement, to authorise the General Manager to place the draft planning agreement on exhibition for a minimum of 28 days, receive a report at the conclusion of the exhibition period, and if no submissions are received, delegate the General Manager the authority to enter into the planning agreement. Do I have a motion on the screen? Do I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Redwood, and Councillor Galettley will second that. Councillor Redwood, anything to add there? No. Councillor Galettley, no. Councillor Robinson.
Yeah, I wanted to suggest a proposed amendment, which I believe should be on the screen, or at least I hope it would be. Since I
Okay, thank you. So we'll just wait for the.
Yeah, so if I can have a seconder, then I would like to move that amendment.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, Council.
Could I call for a seconder? So thank you, Councillor McMichael. Councillor Robinson, do you wish to speak to that?
Yeah, very briefly. I'm critically aware that if IPART doesn't support our SRV, Council will need the flexibility to make the most efficient use of all the money that's available to us. And I'm sure that, for example, making sure that we have funding for our affordable housing strategy will be our top priority. And because master planning for the East Mall is all very well, but we really do need funds to implement these plans. So having a fallback position, such as, for example, designing an app to drive us to the vacant parking spaces, might be more useful if we are short of money. And we could do this, for example, because we installed parking pods that were able to tell the rangers which spaces were occupied and for how long. And as the town grows, and with it traffic congestion grows and competition for parking spaces, maybe knowing what parking spaces are free would be more useful than spending lots of money which we might not have on an East Mall makeover. And all this amendment does is simply explore the possibilities without trying to cause any difficulties or delays. All the amendment does is suggest we ask the developer if he or she is willing to consider this change. And if the developer says no, that's the end of the matter. But there's really no harm in asking to see what might be possible. So let's just ask. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. In case in the future we need that flexibility. So that's all I'd like to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Robinson. Councillor McMichael, anything to add?
I just agree with Dorothy and with Councillor Robinson and the motion, the amended motion says that if the developer doesn't agree, then we go back to the original motion.
Thank you. Councillor Galettley.
I'm speaking against the amendment. We tend to be making things a little bit difficult for developers. This developer has got a lot in mind for Armidale, and I'm happy that that we go with our recommendation. This is just bogging things down even further. But thank you. I won't be voting for it. That's for the amendment. That's for sure. Thank you.
Councillors, Councillor Packham.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Also think that this is a bit of a bridge too far. It's in a precinct. This issue has been brought before council, the previous council before, and we've tried to solve it. We've got to a point where we need to fix that precinct. The East End precinct has a problem with parking, and I think that the amount of money that's on the table being on offer isn't going to go further to make a broader thing. I think there'll be lessons learned if we did do any study on the East End Mall, and I just think that that's fair enough. What's on the table already will give council organisation enough ammunition to further and better our future for the broader CBD, etc. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Packham. All right. Councillors, if there's nothing else, Councillor Robinson, it was your motion. Do you wish, or your amendment? Do you wish to add anything? Oh, sorry, Councillor O'Brien.
Yep, that's okay. I just wanted to know what this might entail in terms of changes for staff. Is this a difficult thing to do, basically?
I'll say that's through through me to the GM.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. Thank you, Councillor O'Brien. I'd say, to be perfectly honest with you, it's probably just a bit embarrassing. I think to be able to go back and have this conversation with the developer, I think that he's come to the council, he said what he wants to contribute his $50,000 towards, and if he'd wanted it to be something else, he would have said something else. So I think it would just be a bit embarrassing to have to go back and ask. But thank you for asking me for my opinion.
Thank you. Councillor Robinson, I assume your not wanting a right of reply still stands, or do you wish to?
No, all I say is I think we are going to be in very difficult circumstances in the future, and I think having flexibility would be very, very useful. And I don't believe this was the developer's idea, so maybe in that way, if we think about it and just allow ourselves a bit of flexibility, in the long term, it will stand us in good stead.
Thank you. All right, councillors.
Mr Mayor. May I have leave to ask a question of the General Manager?
You certainly may.
Just want to go back over that. We're talking about here a payment in lieu of car parking spaces, which is a big topic for Armidale. I just wanted to be certain with the GM that this is not setting a precedent that a developer can buy off the requirement to provide car parking spaces.
Mr Mayor, I might defer to, I don't believe so, but I might defer to Mr Boyce.
Thank you, Mr General Manager. Through you, Mr Mayor, it sets a precedence insofar as you will be entering into a planning agreement in lieu of parking spaces, but council will have to consider all planning agreements before they're entered into. So if in the future it's undesirable, you obviously won't enter into one.
Thank you very much.
Okay, councillors, let's put the motion or the amended motion that's on the screen, put that to the vote. All those in favour? All those against? I declare the motion, the amendment lost. So we go back to the original motion, which was moved.
Councillor Redwood, Councillor Galettley.
By Councillor Redwood, seconded by Councillor Galettley. Now, neither of you Councillor Galettley, you spoke to it. So do any other councillors wish to make a comment? All right, let's put this to the vote. All those in favour? Okay, thank you. I declare that carried unanimously. Item 9.5, the updated draft financial statements. Details are from page 37 of the agenda and 291 of the attachments, where council is being asked to adopt the draft financial statements, to authorise the Mayor, Deputy Mayor, General Manager and responsible accounting officer to sign the statements by councillors and management, and also to authorise the General Manager to issue audited financial statements for the year ended 30 June 2022 upon receipt of the auditor's report, subject to there being no material audit changes or audit issues. Councillor Robinson, I'm going to ask you to move that, and Councillor McMichael to second that. Councillor Robinson, anything to add?
No, I was just very pleased to note, I think it was a 4 million surplus this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Robinson. Councillors, does anyone have anything they wish to say? Let's put this to a vote then. All those in favour? Thank you. I declare that carried unanimously. Councillors, item 9.6 is the local approval policy for street trading. It is proposed to maintain the current local approval or policy in its current form for public notice and exhibition, and then to consider any any submissions. Details are from page 40 of the agenda and 391 of the attachments. There is a recommendation up there on the screen. Can I have a mover for that? Thank you, Councillor Witters, and a seconder. Thank you, Councillor Mepham. Councillor Witters, your motion.
Yeah, I don't know how many of the people that I speak to in regards to some of these issues will actually watch this video, but if they are, please make sure that you put in submissions about some of the concerns that have been raised to me over the last 5 years in regards to some of the stuff written here. Now's your chance to have your say. If you know someone who wants to have a say or needs to have a say, point them towards this so they can have a say, so that the council staff can get some community feedback to bring to us when it comes back.
Thank you. Councillors, anything to add? All right, let's put this to the vote. All those in favour? Thank you. I declare that carried unanimously. Councillors, we're now in the 10 series, and item 10.1, the Jimeric Dam Safety Upgrade Project. The project has incurred an additional cost overrun in order to meet dam safety requirements, which have now been met. There is scope to recoup a portion of this overrun from the Department of Planning and Environment. Details are laid out from page 44 of the agenda and from page 415 of the attachments. Council is being asked to note the status report of the project, to delegate authority for the General Manager to approve the increase in the purchase order, and to approve the transfer from reserves of $698,523 to cover the variation to the project. That is a recommendation that's on the screen. Do I have a mover for that, for it to become a motion? Thank you, Councillor O'Connor, and Councillor Packham is the seconder. Councillor O'Connor, do you wish to say a few words?
I might defer to what Councillor Packham has to say, I think, but I'll just say that it's a bit regrettable that this cost keeps running along, but we're basically in a position where we've got to comply with the process that's been set up to comply with the Dam Safety Committee's requirements. So we don't have a lot of choice, and we just need to get on with this project and finish it.
Thank you, Councillor O'Connor. Councillor Packham.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I fully support any water asset which we've deemed this to be in concert with its recreational, the future recreational facility, and also for the environment, the wetland that it creates, etc. It is regrettable that we're in the situation where we have to keep on putting money in to do it, but we committed it. The previous council committed to it. It's well known that there were options at the time, and with a bit of grace, I might just go back through the options, because it is a bit of a lesson learned, because we do have to take this seriously, and we have got to this serious point where we have to put more money to it, and I agree with it. I agree with it wholeheartedly, with the caveat that I wish to make it. There were a few options at the time. Option A was additional concrete added to the downstream side of the dam to the full height of the wall. This would keep the dam's water level at its current height. So what we're getting now is what we would have got, and the cost was estimated at $3.4 million. There was decommissioning of the dam completely, taking out the centre part, which would have cost this council $1.2 million. There was lowering the full supply level to a safe level, lowering it by 2.5 metres, and therefore lowering the amount of hectares of water that we would have had, more recreational space, less water perhaps, and that was going to cost only $1 million. Then the option to install reinforcing rods vertically through the dam wall to anchor it to the underlying rock, which is what we've gone for. This would keep the dam's water level at its current height, same as option A, and leave the downstream face of the dam largely as is. This is, however, the most technically difficult and uncertain option, at an estimated cost of $5.6 million. The cost we're currently facing is close on 11, and thankfully we have partners who have come to us with the Public Works to pony up for about 4. So I am in full support of this, but I want to have that caveat of being aware of what we do in the future when we secure these assets, that what we are doing is not burdening our future generations unnecessarily or an uncoverable point, and to where the money is coming from an asset, a water asset reserve, as opposed to the recreational asset, which is this asset is most likely to turn into. But I still support it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Packham. Councillors, any further discussion? Councillor O'Connor, it was your motion.
Look, just for the sake of the record, I don't disagree with what Councillor Packham has carefully pointed out, but unfortunately a lot of these decisions were made during periods when democracy was suspended, and I think this is, to the best of my recollection, that is the case in this case. And so it's not a matter where you can blame your elected council, because decisions were made by appointed officers from the New South Wales government.
Okay, thank you, Councillor O'Connor. Well, with no further discussion, let's put it to a vote. All those in favour? Thank you. I declare that that item carried unanimously. At item 10.2, this is the Armidale Regional Council Section 7.12 Contributions Plan Proposal. So one of the key features of this plan is to provide committed place-based expenditure throughout the council area, rather than plans being more closely linked to the development from which the funds were sourced. This approach will ensure that our region grows as one, with estimated expenditure allocated across a 5-year period. Council is being asked to endorse the revised ARC Section 712 Contributions Plan for Public Exhibition for a period of 28 days and receive a further report once the public exhibition period closes to consider any submissions received. So that's a recommendation on the screen. Do I have a mover for that? Thank you, Councillor Witters, and Councillor Galletley is the seconder. Councillor Witters, any comment?
Without influencing the public, I think this is a bit of a different sort of a style of thinking, and I like it. So hopefully the public gets their teeth into it and has a bit of a look and comes back with that sort of same mindset about growing the region as one, and not in isolated patches.
Thank you, Councillor Witters. Nothing from Councillor Galletley. Councillors, any discussion? Councillor Packham.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I think it's, I agree with Councillor Witters that this revised way of thinking, and we had worked through this, is refreshing and is welcome. It's regrettable, though, that some of the projects that were slated and have now been moved off weren't completed, and it may reflect on our ability to implement projects where money is allocated. Things like Demerrick Dam development, the skate park development, the corner of Clooney Road and Madgwick, for all the benign thing, even though it's a road work, it is a heavily trafficked and heavily cargoed intersection, and it falls apart consistently. So if it had been done, maybe it would have been upgraded to a point where it won't sit on Officer Manner's hit list going forward. But the refreshing part is that it's also a recognition that the money being slated for the regions and the village towns over time, and I do hope that we can get traction in terms of delivering that. A strong region, strong villages becomes a strong township for Guyra and a strong city for Armidale, and it is with hope that those things will get traction. We'll be able to identify projects that are meaningful for those communities, so that overall developers' contributions are put towards developing the whole region, and everyone can participate in the spoils of the developers' contributions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Packham. Councillors, if there is no further discussion, let's put this to a vote. All those in favour? Thank you. I declare that carried unanimously. Councillors, item 10.3, which is the finalisation of the planning proposal for 242 Rusden Street. As councillors, as you will be aware, this council has been working with the applicant to better utilise the land at 242 Rusden Street. It's been a journey, but our planning staff have worked with the applicant to deliver what appears to me to be a great result. Details of this are from page 62 of the agenda and 593 of the attachments. So there is a recommendation there on the screen that council endorse the planning proposal and amendments to the local environmental plan, and also to exercise the necessary functions to make the local environmental plan. Can I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor O'Brien, and Councillor Witters is the seconder again. Councillor O'Brien, anything to add?
Nothing, just to congratulate the staff for the great negotiation and finding a solution to this. Yeah, it was great work. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Witters?
Yeah, just quickly, as an old student of Drummond in the 80s, that little precinct used to be pumping and vibing. There was a hairdresser and a corner store, and the Grand Hotel was popular at the time. And to have that area, something back up in that area, I think, for this part of town and this time of life when those sorts of things are really good, I think it'll be good for the area as well.
Terrific. Thank you. All right, councillors, let's put this to the vote. All those in favour? Thank you. I declare that carried unanimously. Which brings us to item 11.1, the establishment of leash-free areas in Guyra, where council is being asked to endorse 2 preferred sites as leash-free areas for public exhibition and then receive a report at the end of the exhibition period. Details are from page 67 of the agenda. There's a recommendation on the screen. Thank you, Councillor McMichael, and Councillor Witters is seconding that one. Councillor McMichael, anything to add?
It's great to have a place to walk your dog, and it'll be terrific that you don't have to go all the way from Guyra to Armidale to do that.
Councillor Witters, nothing. Any other councillors wish to speak to this? All right, councillors, let's put that to a vote. All those in favour? Thank you. I declare that carried unanimously. Just. All right. Item 11.2, the appointment of councillor representatives to the Aboriginal Advisory and the Access Advisory committees. So council is being asked to formally recognise the Aboriginal Advisory and the Access Advisory committees, and secondly to appoint some councillors. So the recommendation on the screen there is the appointment of councillors O'Brien and Witters to the Aboriginal Advisory Committee and councillors O'Brien, McMichael and Witters to the Access Advisory Committee. Do I have a mover for something on the screen? Thank you, Councillor Gadders, and Councillor Redwood is seconding that. Councillor Gadders, anything you wish to say?
Just a brief, suggesting a very good selection, and I wish the new members all the best.
Thank you. Councillor Redwood? Councillor Laws, any discussion?
Yep.
Councillor
Just quickly, it's good to see that these are now on council's radar and being implemented. Hopefully some good quality actions for the community come out of these committees. Nothing worse than a committee that goes in circles or doesn't even do anything. So hopefully each month or every couple of months there's a good report that comes out of these committees on things moving forward.
Great, thank you very much. All right, councillors, let's put that to a vote. All those in favour? Thank you. I declare that carried unanimously. Councillors, we now move into the 12 series, which are the committee reports, and we have 3 reports there. So the first one is the Sports Council, where council is being asked to note the minutes of the meeting held on the 15th of September with the details from page 74 of the agenda. Can I call for a mover? Thank you, Councillor Galletley, and a seconder. Thank you, Councillor Witters. Any comment?
We've got our old sport and recreation development officer back, Amy Biggs. She's back on board with us. She's a great person, and we get things done. Anchor, who was a fill-in for her, he's left town and gone back to Sydney, but he was great as well. So we're lucky that we've got such good people that have been working on it. We've updated our priority list for things that we want happening in the coming few months and whatever. So we got a little bit of dough in there, and everything's running pretty good. There's a few new members to it, which they seem to be enthusiastic and having a crack. So no, everything's very good. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Galletley. All right. Any other discussion, Councillor Witters?
I'd like to make mention that my young friend Trevor is now part of that, and good to see him on there.
Terrific. All right, let's put that to the vote. All those in favour, except noting those minutes, thank you. I declare that carried unanimously. The Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee minutes, so where council is being asked to note the minutes of the ARIC meeting held on the 20th of September 2022, details from page 77. It's the recommendation on the screen. Do I have a mover for that? Thank you, Councillor Witters won that one, and the seconder is Councillor Redwood. Councillor Witters, anything to add? No. Councillor Redwood, no. Councillors, assuming no other discussion, let's put that to a vote. All those in favour? Thank you. I declare that carried unanimously. And item 12.3, the Traffic Advisory Committee minutes of 13 September 2022. Where council is being asked to note the minutes and details from page 80 of the agenda. Can I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor McMichael. A seconder? Thank you, Councillor Witters. Councillor McMichael, as the Traffic Advisory Committee member.
Oh, look, it was fairly busy this month, and it was good to see various applications, decisions, ideas being put through the committee. Would just mention the relocation of the Halen Ride being moved further along Crest Road in consultation with Edwards Coaches, and yeah, the installation of the no stopping zones in the new Crest Road subdivision, which will assist with traffic flow. So I think that they're the most sort of pressing things. And there's a few activities happening which will, with traffic roads will be closed and things, people will know about that. And yeah, that'll be fun.
Great.
Yep. Look forward to Halloween on Friday, which I hope everyone is turning up to, and in the mall. So that'll be great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Councillor Witters.
Yeah, good to see that there has been some noise made about the intersection of Beatty and Odell. As a long-term resident, I've witnessed near 7 accidents in there. Saying to Councillor McMichael beforehand, I don't know whether it's just the way that the corner sits or whether the fences or the trees or whatever, but it seems to be like there's a near miss there every two weeks or something. Now, I know there's not a lot of reported accidents, but you don't report a near miss, really. So I have been approached a few times about that corner. So hopefully some sort of resolution comes to make it a little bit safer, not only for the traffic, the vehicular traffic, but also the pedestrian traffic as well.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Witters. Okay, councillors, there being no further discussion, let's put this to the vote. All those in favour, thank you. I declare that carried unanimously. Councillors, I haven't received any matters of an urgent nature. Does anyone have any matters of an urgent nature put up? Councillor O'Connor.
I just want to perhaps use this item as an opportunity to let everybody here know or remind them that Transport for New South Wales is doing a consultation in Armidale at the moment on additional bus services, and they're calling for, well, they're promising that when they look at our current bus services, they'll be looking at the needs of the community to introduce some more public transport by buses. And look, the closing date for that is Friday this week. I think we've all got copies of that, has been circulated. But if anybody wants to talk to me in the next 24 hours, really, about, I'll be putting in a submission on, you know, extra buses that are needed. But if any councillors here have, you know, some really good insights into that, can they get in touch with me in the next day, really? I've got a little bit of extra time, I think. Just, you know, if you're aware of, you know, particular bus routes that we should have and that we don't, and that can allow for quite a lot of additional buses, I think please get in touch, or you can do so directly by responding by the closing date to Transport for New South Wales. You look up 16 regional cities program. Just, it's quite catchy. 16 regional cities, Transport for New South Wales. You can do it direct, or you can give me a call or email, whatever. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor O'Connor. I haven't received any questions of notice, which brings us to the end of the open session of the meeting, so thank you. The council will now move into a closed session, so can I have a motion to move us into a closed session, and if resolved, I'll ask the public exit the chamber whilst we go into the closed session. So thank you, Councillor Robinson is moving that, Councillor O'Brien is seconding it. All those in favour? Thank you. I now declare the motion carried unanimously, so we will now move into closed session. Annie, would you be able to see if there's anyone else that wants to come back in? I don't suppose there is. Okay, thank you. I welcome councillors back into the open session and ask the General Manager to read out the resolutions of the closed session.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Item number 1 for 15.1 in relation to water security project funding commitments for pre-construction. Resolved by Council, item A, approve in principle commitment to bring a project proposal forward for funding assessment consideration to Department of Planning and Environment through the Safe and Secure Water Program from Council to co-fund the water security project pre-construction works in accordance with the program subsidy levels, and do this by the 10th of November 2022. B, approve the release of $1,729,173 from the Water Reserve to co-fund the water security project pre-construction works as per the in-principle commitment to DPE if the secure and safe water supply funding is secured. C, delegate authority to the General Manager to approve expenditure for the project up to the upper limit of $3,458,347. And D, delegate authority to the General Manager to execute all documents in relation to the project and funding agreement. Item 15.2, Mr Mayor, Armidale Sewage Treatment Plant upgrade funding commitments. Resolved by Council that A, approve in principle commitment to bring a project proposal forward for funding assessment consideration by DPE through the Safe and Secure Water Program from Council to co-fund the Armidale Sewage Treatment Plant upgrade project pre-construction works in accordance with the program subsidy levels, and do this by the 10th of November 2022. Approve the release of an additional $476,806 from the Sewer Reserve to co-fund the Armidale Sewage Treatment Plant upgrade project pre-construction works as per the in-principle commitment to DPE from Safe and Secure Water. Should funding be secured, delegate authority to the General Manager to approve expenditure for the project up to the upper limit of $1,353,612 excluding GST, and delegate authority to the General Manager to execute all documents in relation to the project and funding agreement. And item 15.3, the ARC large site electricity and street lighting tender process. Resolved by Council that Council notes the content of this report, which includes a narrow window of time in the near future where the General Manager on behalf of Council will need to commit to the preferred supplier of local government procurement. This will be based on an upper level figure presented at the time and subject to further negotiation with the preferred supplier. B, endorses the General Manager at a future time to sign an agreement on Council's behalf for a 2-year agreement for black electricity only, should the proposal be advantageous to Council in the contract rates, terms and conditions, as per the recommendation of LPG, for a period of 2 years to 31 December 2024, to which Armidale Regional Council may then be in a position to consider renewable options available. C, endorses the final details, including final contract rates and details, will be presented to Council at the soonest opportunity by Council staff on behalf of the General Manager, including before and after financial scenarios and a direct comparison of the current market for analysis of financial impact to Council. And D, notes the current indications and a volatility in the market may mean a best case scenario of a 10 to 20% increase on current electricity retail pricing. A figure on or around 10% increase on current contract rates is seen as a favourable financial outcome. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Mr General Manager. There being no further business, I declare the meeting closed at 5:15 p.m.